College Hill Celebrity Edition Season 3. We starting back off from where the last review left off, which is around the beginning of episode 2. And just a side note, I don't really like Nick. Like, he gets on my nerves. He always got this stupid fake smile on his face. It comes off not genuine to me. Like, I don't like Nick. I'm sorry. Because I know some people might like him, but So like I said, everybody went up there and like shared their narrative about themselves except for China. She ended up walking out. It was too much for her. Carlos came out and like I said, he immediately went up to China to give her a hug. And then Nick wants to be like, oh yeah, I was about to say, and like go over there and join in on the hug. But you was out there before Carlos. So it's like, if you really wanted to do that from your heart, why didn't you just do it? So that's what I mean when I say he be giving me not genuine vibes. Like, he just follow other leads of people in the house. Carlos, he might be outspoken, but at least he come off genuine with the conversations that I've seen him have with Saucy, Tamar, Angela, and Claudia. And Nick. Like, he just seemed genuine all the way around, but he just say whatever he feel like saying. So Saucy was late to cheerleading practice, so the coach told him that he had to take a lap around the track. And he told the other guy, oh, I'm not running around the track, but I'll show you how to walk. Because remember, he got his song, Let Me See You Walk, Walk, Walk. So they walked around the track instead of running, child. Now, the coach was also a very flamboyant man, so him and Santana was very much matching each other's energy. And he was like, oh, since Santana wants to go back and forth with the coach, the whole team has to do 5 burpee tucks. So everybody had to do this exercise. So Angela and Claudia have a little heart-to-heart about everything that happened earlier in the class because they were partnered together. And Claudia just lets her know, like, I'm here for you, and I want the teacher to know that you can do it. So anything you need, I got your back. So they all sit down and start working on their homework. Everybody's trying their best, but Santana basically says, oh, I'm not doing this, and gets up and walks off. He talking about, I gotta take a shower and refresh. I'll look into getting extra credit. And he basically leaves that baby that he's supposed to be, raising as his own for the semester in the kitchen, unsupervised. Then everybody else is trying to still do their homework, and Santana is yelling, talking about Alexa, trying to get the lights to cut off, distracting everybody from doing what they need to do. Now, I told y'all they be playing with these copyrights, and there's really nothing to see, but I'm gonna let y'all hear how he was carrying on. And then they just show how he's been doing this the whole time they've been there, just being the loudest person in the house.
Wow, motherfucker, you heard it here first. Get the fuck out. Ow. Come here, fuck with me. Bitch, if I try to take her. Wow.
Now, while Nick still gets on my nerves, I did appreciate and feel like his emotions towards the homelessness situation was genuine. He let us know that his oldest brother passed away from gun violence, and it sent his other brother into like a real depression and mental illness, which I'm assuming led to some type of homelessness at some point. And he said he has a foundation for it. So he is very passionate about homelessness and related topics. So after they finished the homework assignments, Claudia and Carlos realized that Santana left his baby unsupervised. So they decided to play a little prank and put the baby in the cabinet and leave a note that says, my daddy doesn't love me, because they said not only is Santana not taking his schoolwork seriously, he's not taking this whole Planned Parenthood project serious. Now, also keep in mind that when they came in the house, they said that Claudia and Santana had some type of beef before, and they showed us a flashback where Claudia hosted the Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion, which Saucy Santana was on, and they clashed a little bit there. And I guess she also talked about him on her show TGIF. So this is just kind of reigniting possibly the issue between the two of them. Now, Nick saw what they did with the baby, but he wasn't a part of it, and he said that he don't want no parts. So next morning they about to go to school. Of course, Santana realizes the baby is missing, and he's like, oh, y'all want to play games? Y'all want to start touching people's stuff on some Bad Girls Club type shit? So Tamar and Nick like, no, we didn't do this. We will help you look for the baby. They start running around like, where's my niece at? Where's my niece at? And of course, Claudia and Carlos is trying to just mind his business and not be involved and say he didn't see the baby, because Santana did ask him. And then Claudia just was like, oh, come on, you should still go to school anyway. It's not like it's your real baby. Let's focus on that later, because he decided if he don't find the baby, he not going to school. So all they did was give Santana another excuse for him to miss another day of class. He talking about, tell the teacher I got a family emergency. So everybody leaves and they go to school. Santana stays home. So now they're in a new class called Louisiana Unmasked, which is about the history of Mardi Gras, as well as slavery in Louisiana and how it connects to today. So the teacher realizes that there is a seat empty. She's like, who's missing? They say Saucy Santana. And Tamar was like, somebody played a game for him and mentally it was too much. Like, he just needed a day. So the teacher is like giving it a pass, I guess, because she's like, okay, it's the first day of the class, but it's one day. Let him slide and see if he show up next week or whenever they got the class again. So the teacher starts giving them history about the Zulu Club in Louisiana, which is a powerful African-American organizing community. The Zulu Club started its own Mardi Gras club to mock white elites by dressing in overtly racist stereotypes. So she tells them how the Zulu do these parades and they wear blackface. And in the 1970s, the Zulus became integrated, which means that they started to allow white people in, and those white people do the blackface as well as a part of the parade. So, of course, this is very touchy for them, and majority of them are not feeling it, especially Carlos. I wouldn't be feeling it either. And then they're supposed to be attending this parade, I believe, later in the semester. So it's like, I wouldn't even want to go to that if I know I'm going to something where I'm going to see white people in blackface. I don't care what the history or festivities behind it is. It's not for me. So when they go to the parade, their assignment is going to be to take 5 pictures and get a story of the locals and, you know, the history of the parade and the holiday Mardi Gras. So they just showing the time passing while Santana is in the house. And now it's 2 o'clock and he finally finds the baby. So Santana calls them going off, and Nick is like, oh, maybe the baby walked away. So Santana's like, oh, okay, I got something for you. I never thought you would have turned on me. So now Nick is like, no, I was just playing, because he really didn't have nothing to do with it. So Santana calls his friend, and his friend like, so you just been drinking by yourself. Nobody else is fun. I know Claudia all churchy. And Santana was like, no, she not churchy. I actually like her. But yeah, for the most part, all of them are boring. And of course, he tells his friend about the prank they played with the baby. Carlos comes back into the class now that they talking about the homelessness and everything. And he's like approaching the teacher like, what's up, my boy? Like, just not professional, not really treating the man like a professor. And obviously that's going to end up being a problem. So Carlos was like, yeah, that was a tall order you asked for with all that homework. I ain't been to school in 20 years, my man. So the teacher finally checked him like, it's Dr. Frazier. Carlos doubled down and say, I would never disrespect you on no black man shit. But how much is going to cost to get an A in this class? And I'm dead serious. And the professor just tries to break down to Carlos that you said that all of these billionaires can just move money with a push of a button, but somebody still has to ask for the money. And that's the point of us writing and proposing a bill of saying who the money should come from. And then Claudia tried to say, well, let's think about if homelessness just got rampant to the point that it was so many people homeless and they just started having to break into the people who did still have homes, houses to survive. And he was like, oh, I got something for them, basically saying he would pow them. And it was just like, okay, yeah, you're not getting it. And this is going a whole nother direction. Nick tried to chime in. He told him to shut up and dribble and said that good athletes are always dumb. Then he said he probably got CTE. He probably been hitting the head a lot. Isn't CTE with football? Isn't Swaggy P basketball? So Carlos is like, they bullying me. And Nick was like, let the professor talk. And Carlos stood up and was like, shut up. You got one more time to say something to me. Like, it was a confrontation. But Nick kept his cool though. Because realistically, I think Nick could probably whoop Carlos' ass. So they all get in the car and leave Carlos. And the teacher tells Carlos to stay back to talk. So the professor's like, you need to be optimistic. You could disagree, but you still got to be optimistic. And Carlos is like, I'm being real. Don't seem like he's really going to change how he's going about class. So when they get back home, Santana's like, I'm not talking to none of y'all. Who took the baby? So Tamar's like, I'm out of it. So he's like, okay, so Tamar's out of it. Who took the baby? He said, whole so phony got me looking at him sideways. It'll never be the same, motherfuck the old days. I'll be back for episode 3.